Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gavin Kerr, and I am alone today. Brandon is on his way right now. He's coming in. He is currently in California doing some amazing things out there. I'm not sure exactly what all I can spill as far as the beans go on that, but he should be joining us soon. He's got a bit of a time difference from me, and then on top of that, he is also just very, very busy. He's very busy right now. But good morning, my name is Gavin Kerr, and this is Java Delights. So I wasn't here yesterday. I want to first off start by thanking Opsu's, the creative rebel, for taking over the show for us. I woke up extremely ill yesterday morning. I'm still fighting it off right now. I'm getting heat flashes and cold flashes, so I'm sitting here with a blanket in the sun, trying to make sure that I can regulate temperature during this. But sometimes you got to take a break, and then sometimes once you get a little bit better, you just got to kind of fight through it. So today on the show, I got a positive news article for us to go over. This is a science one. Let me pull this up really quick for you. You can kind of see it in my face that I just woke up as well. Spectacular super pink moon is set to rise next weekend. Here's how to photograph it in the night sky. You'll want to set aside a little moon gazing time this Monday evening, as April 26th is set to be the night of a super pink moon. The best time to see it, as it is appearing over the eastern horizon, at the point of the moon will appear a deep tangerine, then a steady gold, then pure white as it climbs even higher in the sky. This is because of Rayleigh scattering, the same phenomenon that causes sunsets to take a reddish tint. So, and what that is saying right there is light is made of all different colors, but red is the one that travels the farthest. So that's why sunset red. And that's the same thing that's happening here. It's the way that the light is being bent, and then it's the way that the light is being bent as it travels from the moon to our retinas. Contrary to its name, the month's full moon won't actually look pink. According to Farmer's Almanac, it actually gets its name from the North American wildflower Phlox subulata, also known as creeping phlox or moss phlox, which blooms in the spring. Other traditional names include sucker moon, breaking ice moon, egg moon, wildcat moon, and budding moon of plants and shrubs. Supermoons are typically about 7% bigger and around 15% brighter than a regular full moon. And this month is a special one because it's only two such supermoons for 2021. The next one is in May. But the moon is actually closer to us when it's on the horizon. But is the moon actually closer to us when it's on the horizon? Is that the way why it looks so much bigger? According to NASA, the answer is no. It's just an illusion. That's something kind of interesting to start your day off. I think it's kind of a lot of fun how many different moons there are. I remember being in elementary school, even maybe a little bit in middle school, just reviewing it, just talking about the different shapes of the moon when it was waning and waxing, and that was pretty much it. It's like, oh yeah, every now and again you get a eclipse where that was like the biggest phenomenon. Pardon me. That was like the biggest phenomenon for moons was if it was either blocked by the sun or blocking the sun, um, or blocking the sun or blocked by the earth. And now I've come to learn that we have so many different colors of moons. It's interesting. I feel like, and this is like a weird kind of like left field conspiracy thing as well that sometimes I think about. I think about these a lot where it's like I think about things that are actually there, but it's just kind of fun food for thought. One of the things we've been talking about a lot of sciencey things, and a lot of like science fiction that's slowly becoming reality in the world. And what if this is all just a simulation kind of thing, and then the person controlling it all is just adding different colors of the moon, just see if we notice, just to mess with us. Like, oh yeah, now we have pink moons, now we have blue moons. Next is gonna be a green moon, but you're gonna have a scientific explanation of how it's always happened, just once every million years or something like that. Just a fun little thought. This morning we have Sherry McQueen. Good morning, and Mandy Atterbury. Good morning. If you're watching this right now, feel free to leave a comment, and then you can go ahead and I'll call you out. There we go, just like that. Let's go on Metallica vibrations. Good morning, Michael. How you doing, man? So I'm talking kind of quiet today as well. My energy seems low. I'm definitely in a positive, definitely in a good mood. I woke up on a good side of the bed this morning, but as I mentioned earlier, I'm not feeling very great. My nose is a little stuffy, my head's a little foggy, but overall, I'm in a good, decent mood. I just got to keep drinking some water and everything. I found myself dehydrated lately. Have I heard Bill Gates want? Oh, metallic. See, not metallic, a metallic. See, I'm a little foggy. And Maddie Atterbury said, "Have I heard that Bill Gates wants to dim out the sun?" Now that's some crazy conspiracy nonsense. I'm gonna look into that right now because I don't have anyone else to really talk to at the moment. But that sounds like a flat Earth kind of thing. Like what I was saying was like completely like hypothetical for the record. I'm just messing around. But I feel like people are serious about this, so I'm curious. Bill Gates wants to dim the sun. Oh my God, it came right up. Let me see. Good morning, Britt. How you doing? Was I up late at night? I was up a little late. I'm just not really feeling well. I've actually been sleeping a whole lot. All yesterday. I was pretty much asleep for the most part. All right. Bill Gates is thinking about. No, no, I don't want to join now. How do I exit out of this? Refresh. Bollocks. This is an exclusive. All right, well, fine. I'll go back to Google then. I'll go back and go ogle it. Let's see what this one says. Bill Gates ventures aim to spray dust in the atmosphere to block the sun. What could go wrong? I love how. So the other article just said that Bill Gates. What was all these ads? Bill Gates wants to block out the sun. I love how it was an article and how people. I looked it up as if it's like a dad just wanting to dim the lights in the evening. He's kind of like frustrated using up all this power and the electric bill's really high. He's like, hey, no, 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 we're gonna just turn that down. What could go wrong? Microsoft's billionaire founder Bill Gates is financially backing the development of sun dimming technology. What would potentially reflect sunlight out of the Earth's atmosphere, triggering solar or global cooling effect. The stratospheric controlled pardon me, perturbation perturbation experiment launched by Harvard University scientists aims to examine this solution by spraying non-toxic calcium carbonate dust into the atmosphere. The sun reflecting aerosol that may offset the effects of global warming. Widely spread research into the efficiency of solar geoengineering has been stalled for years due to the controversy. Oh, yeah, a little bit. Opponents believe such science comes with unpredictable risk, including extreme shifts in weather patterns and or not dissimilar to warming trends. Bloody hell. To warning trends we are already witnessing. Environmentalists similarly fear the drastic shift in migration strategy that will be or treated by green lighting to continue to emit greenhouse gases with little to no change in the current consumption and products pattern. Huh. Interesting. So I don't know how I feel about that. I need a second opinion on this. Hello, Brandon. How are you?
I am wonderful, Gavin. How are you? I even got dressed up for you this
I'm doing
morning,
well. Did you
buddy.
hear any? Did you hear any? You're fine. Did you hear any of that article I just read?
I did. I tuned in and caught the last part of it and was listening. So, if I understand that correctly, it is a I don't know. I really wasn't paying attention. I was trying to find an article. I was just lying to
So
be nice.
you're good. You're good. So the long and short of it is, Bill Gates and a bunch of Harvard scientists wants to admit a calcium-based gas into the air that will reflect particles from the sun and essentially dim the sun's rays, like dim it onto the earth to cause global cooling.
I don't know how I feel about that. I
Yeah.
don't like the idea of shooting something into the atmosphere that we don't know what it's going to do when it comes back down. We don't know how it's going to treat us. We don't know how it's going to affect humans. It's like the shot. Like, why just all of a sudden do something because that's what we think we're supposed to do? We need cooling, but I think there's a lot of other ways out there we could be working with this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, isn't shooting stuff into the atmosphere how we caused a problem in the first place? It's like the woman who swallowed the spider to catch the fly.
Yes, 100% yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she swallowed a cow, and then she swallowed 100%. I agree with you. I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
you said
She
hello
kept
to
eating
everybody
bigger
already
things.
too. By the way, I am
I
so
did.
sorry I am late. I
You're good. You're
literally,
good.
guys, getting a shower in a room with another person that doesn't wake up yet is really difficult, especially when you're trying to be really quiet. So I'm like tiptoeing around, opening drawers very slowly. So I am in Los Angeles, and that's why I
Oh,
wasn't able to be on yesterday.
yes.
I am headed to a. It's been a whirlwind. I'm headed to a bunch of parties. I've been invited to. I'm going to a private concert on Friday night
For who?
where
Who you
they
seeing?
had. I can't say yet because I
What do
have
you
to
mean you
confirm it.
can't
We got
say
to
yet?
because I don't know his name. I have to wait for Tiffany to wake up so I can ask her what his name was again. But dude, she's played his music for me yesterday. She goes, Brandon, you're gonna lose your mind when you meet this guy. And I go, well, where are we going? It is a speakeasy here in LA that
Yeah.
only holds 50 people, and he's putting on a private concert. And he sent my friend a ticket. She goes, well, it's my buddy's boyfriend, my buddy's birthday coming up this week. Can I bring him? And he was like, absolutely. I look forward to meeting him. Last week he did one of these, and Lady Gaga showed up and did a solo with him, and nobody knew it.
Oh, okay.
And he's like a
Well,
no name, but he plays the piano and stuff like that. Yesterday, for anybody that watches TV, I got to meet Anthony Anderson from Blackish. I met one of the girls from The Walking Dead. Bunch of musicians and stuff. Had a great time. I met a guy from Jumanji, and he and I had a very good conversation. We traded
Wait,
cell
which
phone
Jumanji?
actually.
The new one?
Yeah, not the one with like Robin Williams and all that. The one from.
Okay, then which guy from Jumanji?
He's not a big actor.
No, okay. Was it like one of the teenagers, one of the kids?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
I mean,
they're
that's
not
still pretty
kids
cool.
anymore. Oh, dude, it was cool. But what made it even more fun was being able to just communicate with them and see the human nature that they are, because they did a lot of really cool things. And he has 2 nonprofits focusing on mental health, and him and I just bonded like right away.
Awesome.
He's already followed the YouTube and the Facebook and LinkedIn. He literally sent me a message this morning on Instagram and said, "I hope you have a great morning." And he's like, "I'm looking forward to working with you." I woke up.
That's so sweet.
Today is the day I'm super stoked of, being the athlete that I am and having that like embedded into me. I get to meet Hall of Famer Magic Johnson today. Yeah, and they all are taking pictures of the product. Oh, Gavin, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Sorry, guys, I'm just gonna take over the show right now because I have
please do.
I would like to apologize to Miss Suze and thank you at the same time. Yesterday, when I got into Hollywood, I didn't just get to the hotel and crash. I like died. I didn't even like touch my phone, didn't charge it, didn't anything. Just, and it was like a heavy sleep. But Sue stepped in yesterday. Today we're back. I'm truly like, I'm up here. No one else is awake. If I was to lift my laptop up, I'm right next to the pool.
Ugh, it looks so nice there. It started snowing here yesterday.
I know. Everybody thought it was fun to send me pictures.
Yeah, we got like 2 inches of snow. I hate Ohio. I want to move. I'm done. It's almost May and it is freezing. Yes.
What if I can get us a 1991 Winnebago? Would you want to go drive around the country and spread delight with me?
I don't know what that is, but yes.
That was a great answer. You caught me off guard.
Brandon, I'm a very agreeable person. My little sister Kaylin all the time asks me, she goes, "Hey, Gavin, will you cover this song with me?" And I just go, "Yeah, absolutely." She goes, "Thank you so much." I'm like, "Cool. Now I'm going to go listen to it because I've never heard it before in my life."
Oh, that's funny. And he said yes. So a 1991 Winnebago is a camper that is almost as old as me. And the fun thing about it is it's just old. And like, I know you'd want to bring your girl, Crystal, and all that. And if she wanted to go, I already have somebody willing to give us this. And then you and I would just be able to take off. Now it's old, it needs repairs, but I presented the idea and it was really cool. And everybody was like, yes. And then yesterday we went to dinner at a sushi place. And I was told, Brandon, be here at 6. Don't be late at all. And it's literally right over the wall right here. So I shouldn't be late. Okay. Yeah. It's huge, popular place. Drew Carey ate 2 tables over from me. Yeah. So while I'm there,
I feel self-conscious every time I do that. So I always do this place but I was watching YouTube clips the other night of just like different comedians making. I love some of my favorite comedy is different comedians making fun of other races. And it was, I don't know who it was, but it was this black comedian. And he goes, "Y'all ready for my impression of a white guy?" I just felt personally attacked. I'm like, son of a, I do that all the time. He's right. Like,
he's right. Or
he's right.
Ohioans. Oop.
Yeah. Oh, I told Crystal that all the time because Crystal has a really bad habit of apologizing when there's no need to apologize. And I tell her, like, honey, just do the Ohio apology. Oh, my bad. That's all it is. Just,
All right, so
my bad.
I was at sushi last night, and I
Yeah.
literally was sitting there with a guy who photographed some of the most famous celebrities in the world. And he was an African American. He was telling me stories about how he's flown to Italy, and like they paid him to fly there and do this whole photo shoot, and then he got lost and ended up driving like one of the most like popular race car tracks, and he just like hikes across countries. He hiked across Spain. Why?
Oh my
Because he said
God.
he'd never get a chance to do it again, and he just wanted to.
Yeah.
So he's a photographer. He lives off his photography, and for 10 years he's been working on a project. It is called Black Hollywood Book. Okay. And
Son of
oh,
a-
hi, Sos. Hi, dude. So he is literally writing. He took a bunch of pictures and he takes famous movies, Back to the Future, and then he
Yeah.
puts like Will Smith in the picture as Michael J. Fox, and it's Black to the Future, and he gives a Black History fact, and all
I
these.
love that. That's awesome.
Bro, he showed me his works yesterday. I was like telling him, I'm like, bro, the minute this book is released, please let me know. And then he takes this off and hands it to me, and he goes, what do you have for me now? I just start laughing. I'm like, here. And I take off my Delight shirt in the middle of this restaurant, and everybody sitting at the table is like, he got naked so fast. I have a jacket. I threw the jacket on over me, and I hand him it, and he goes, I have to be honest. I love this. He goes, this was like, I'm never going to forget you, Brandon. And I go, good. Remember that.
Yeah.
And he goes, next time I'm doing something, he goes, if I can have you there, I want to have you there just to make us laugh. And I'm like, I'm all about it.
That's amazing.
He's
I love
already
that.
agreed that the day he releases the book, he will be happy to come on the show and talk with us.
Yes. I love to meet him.
Oh, dude, so many good people. I have like a book of like information of people that we're going to be talking to. So, guys, we have a lot of good stuff coming. We're working on it. Suze, I know your internet's not working well. I said it at the beginning. Thank you. You jumped on yesterday. I was literally in like death's bed. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I was like literally on death's bed yesterday and sleeping like I've not slept because of traveling and all that. So I
Yeah.
lost sleep for a few days there and caught up in one day. Like when I told you guys, I text Gavin and I go, I am so sorry. I passed out. So it's been nothing but a good time. I'm so happy to be out here. I have not met Jim Carrey. I am hoping to. But
Is he
it's been
there?
a great time. I don't know everybody that's coming until the day of. I got to know the one because
Gotcha.
my friend's the photographer.
Yeah.
But like, I have a picture of Anthony Anderson from Blackish. Him and I.
Yeah, you sent
talking,
me that.
and
That was pretty cool.
dude, he has this big ring, and I'm like, I didn't know you played in the Super Bowl. And he just starts laughing. He goes, I didn't play in the Super Bowl. He goes, look at it. And then I have pictures of me, like him and I talking and him showing me the ring. It's his ring from getting on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood that George Lopez made for him.
Oh my God. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's so
Right?
amazing.
Very cool.
They got
Dude,
rings for everything now, man.
It's a way of showing your class and your style and who you are. So like,
Yeah.
bro, it's been a whirlwind. So how are you? Catch me up. What's going on?
I'm doing really well. So I spent pretty much the past couple of days in bed watching, like binge watching TV. Christina told me about this show, Year Million on Disney Plus, and it's basically about like how technology is increasing and developing at such a crazy rapid rate, what it's going to be like in like the near future. Because Year Million, it's not actually year 1 million. It's just it's a saying, it's an expression of a time that is so advanced we can't really comprehend it fully yet. We can't really predict it all. But these are like what they're saying might happen. And that was extremely exciting because they go through step by step. You follow a family, and like you follow how they're doing everything, living in quote unquote year a million, and then they break down all the new technology that they're experiencing. And it's talking about like nanobots that just live in your bloodstream, and they're changing everything in there so you don't age and you don't like get sick or anything like that. Like if you have cancer, then these nanobots, they just go in and just destroy the cancer cells immediately. And then it's also talking about
Really?
things like up, yeah. And then it's
What?
talking about like uploading and stuff like that. So like mentally
Yeah.
uploading into a computer and just living in a digital world where you could do anything and everything you'd ever want to. And they're already working on all of this stuff too, which is the crazy part. Like they have nanotechnology already that they're working on programming to do specific tasks and be able to self-recreate and things like that. And they were showing like think about like 40 years ago. All right, like 40 years ago, we had what, flip phones, if that, in the 80s? No, that
No,
no,
we didn't
not
even have
even.
pagers.
Yeah.
We didn't even have
Okay, so think about
pagers.
that then. No,
They
it's
came at
grown
the
that fast. In 40
It
years, or
has.
40 years ago, you didn't even have pagers. Now, have you seen how realistic VR has gotten? It's
They have one
insane.
here.
They did an experiment where they had all these people in these hospital beds. They're just laying down in them, right? And then there was like a box on top of their leg. It wasn't directly on it, but they had a VR system on. And across the room was a little doll in the same setup as them. And so they're looking down, and it looks like they're in the doll's body. And what the doctor did is he took a like a mallet and he lightly tapped on certain parts of their leg, and then on the doll, certain parts of the doll's leg. But then the people watching through the VR, that box that was over their leg had little soft mallets in it that was tapping their legs as the doctor tapped them on the doll. So between the visuals and the audio, they also had the sensation of touch. And then their brain just added all the other pieces together. And they took a needle, a syringe, and they gave the doll a shot, and the people felt it. Like their brain tricked them into feeling what was actually going on. It freaked them out. And they're like, and then they just start like low-key torturing this doll. Like they're like pretending to put like the needle in the eye, and the people are all squirming and freaking out in their chairs. But they're not doing anything to the people. It's all just a doll. And it's just the illusion of this VR.
What? That
It's
is insane.
insane. Yeah. So I binge watched the hell out of that show. And then what else did I watch? I binge watched the hell
What
out
was the name of that
of
one?
Year Million.
Have you seen the show
It's on.
Upload on Amazon?
No, I'm not. I don't think I have Amazon.
I do.
Maybe I
I'll
do.
give you my
I don't know.
Amazon
Crystal
wrong.
keeps buying things. Every damn time, every time a show comes out that Crystal wants to watch, I just get a text. Hey, honey, we have Hulu now. Hey, honey, we have Disney Plus now. Well, I'm like, okay. She's like, hey, babe, we have HBO Max. I was like, okay. I was completely content with Netflix, but whatever makes you happy.
Honestly, you're a good man. You're a good man. Because there's a lot of people that don't do that, and you're just like, yo, Upload is Amazon Prime, and what's interesting is you're about to die. Thank you, Suze. I did it just for Gavin. My mom picked it out and literally bought it for me, and goes, you and Gavin can match.
I
I
love
love
that.
my mom.
I saw my before you get back to the Amazon thing, I saw my buddy Ben. I've known him since middle school, but I haven't seen him since probably junior year of high school. And I saw him the other day, and he was wearing one of these caps. And I was at his house picking up a piece of artwork that his girlfriend did for Crystal and I. And so he was wearing one of these caps. He gave me a big hug, and I saw his hat. I was like, wait right here. And I run into my car, and I take out my hat, and I put it on. And he goes, I see you're a man of culture.
Well done, buddy.
Yeah.
So this Amazon show, it's called Upload, and it's the premise of you have the choice, and if you have the money, you can be uploaded into a computer, and all your memories will be there, and you can literally keep going forever, and you think you're living, or you die at the hospital. Okay, like you pick which one you're gonna do when you're on your deathbed. This guy was dating this super rich girl, and she wants him to live forever, and he didn't know what upload was, so he says yes. And then the whole show is about him being uploaded into a computer and interacting with other people and figuring out who's an upload, who's real, how that works, what happens to his body. Dude, it's like crazy, but one season in, I
So
promise, it's only one season.
that's what the
It's only
first
one season, but
episode
you're going to be
is.
obsessed with it. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, that's what it's okay. There's a little bit of a lag. But that's what the first episode is a girl gets in a car crash, but her brain isn't damaged at all. And so the parents decide to upload her body into a perfect replica android of her. And then it starts talking about like the legal ramifications of, do these androids now have rights? Is this really their daughter? This, that, and the other. Like, it's really trippy. And the one thing they started talking about that got me thinking, they were talking about like freezing people and thawing them out in the future, and how we do that now. We freeze people right now. You can either get your whole body frozen or just your head frozen as well. They do that right now, but they don't know if it works. You know what that means? They never thought any of these damn people out to see if it worked or not. Why not? Why haven't they thought at least one of these people out, just as being like, it might work or it might not? Like, they're just letting people freeze themselves at various ages. Like, the youngest girl is 14. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she wanted to be frozen to see if she could be thawed out in the future, where they had a cure for it. It actually went to court because the father was against it and the mother was for it, and the judge ruled that it was okay for her to do, because she was terminally ill anyway. But like, they have ages as young as 14 freezing themselves, and they've not thawed one of these people out yet. What?
How long did it say they were frozen so far?
Some of these people have been frozen for like decades.
Like Walt Disney?
Yeah.
But you know his
Like
head's frozen.
Yeah. Like, they're like famous baseball players and stuff like that who have been frozen for like a long time.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes. Very much
Yeah.
so. It's pretty crazy when you think about how, like, I would have
told them, freeze me for a year.
But what about freezer burn? Your brain has gels and liquids, and your body has blood. You're going to get frozen, and it's going to give you freezer burn.
No, they take the blood out. They take out all your blood and they pump you with, like, I think it's like liquid nitrogen or something like that.
I don't know if I'd do this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to be honest.
If I was terminally ill, I would say, hey, I want you to freeze my body for a year. I want to see if this works. Like, even if this means you can't freeze me again and then I die of this terminal illness, I think somebody needs to be frozen and then brought back within like a short period of time for science sake.
I 100% agree with you on this. 100%. Yeah. I think that needs to be done. I'll make you a deal.
Yeah.
The day Elon Musk offers me a chance to go to Mars with him, that same day we'll freeze you. And we'll see if I can get to Mars, and then you can be woken up. Which one happens first?
Okay.
One of us is bound to not make it. And I'm not being weird with that.
Yes.
Like, you're talking Mars, like colonizing Mars, and then you're talking freezing. You and I have a...
I will say this, though. I want to work a deal with Elon where if I find that this whole freezing thing is complete bollocks, that and I end up dying, that when you make it to Mars, I get some sort of statue put up there in honor of my sacrifice. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. I think you should. Can I do the avocado toast this morning?
Sure. Do you want to put an egg on it?
Yes, poached, please.
Poached?
Thank you. And no tomatoes, if there is any.
Okay, I'll just put it in this.
Avocado toast.
I'm in California.
Yeah, that's one of the most, like, I know that's...
I did it because I'm on air, too. I did it because I'm on air. And honestly, I've eaten more avocados in 2 days than I've ever eaten. And I mean that as in like I went to a vegan sushi place. It was so
What?
good.
I'm sure it was
Dude.
delicious, but is that really sushi?
So yes, no. I said the same thing, and it's because of the way the roll and all this other stuff is. They explained it, and I said, okay, I'm just going to tolerate it, but I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
I got
Like it's delicious, but you're wrong. You know, like
but no,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god,
A
that's
crepe isn't
embarrassing.
a pancake. Just saying.
I love you. So
Tell me
who
I'm
do we have
wrong.
on today?
Come
I
on.
don't even know anything. I literally. Who do we have on today, buddy? I don't even know.
I think we've yet to find a Thursday
We
person.
have EA. I am.
Oh, the guest.
No. We have EA Csolkovits. Yeah, he has a humble beginning, where that of a son. He was that of a milkman. That's what I told my mom she cheated on me, my dad with. Told her I'm the product of a milkman. At the age of 16, he started a business career at a commission sales job selling janitorial services to business owners. By the age of 19, he met Sam Robbins, a millionaire businessman from Detroit, Michigan.
You got to speak up a little bit, buddy.
Took him under his wing and began to. Oh, I'm probably covering the speaker. He took him and started. Sam took him under his wing and began to mentor him. In 1980, he started to work in the diamond business. Sam established a private grant meant to be part of his legacy due to his lifelong fight with diabetes. Due to his grant in 1980, Sam and EA began to formulate heart-healthy wellness nutritional foods and drinks over the next 45 years. He was blessed with the following businesses, personal achievements, and professional achievements. Chairman of the Holland Jewelers for 21 years, started the Columbia Nutrition System, consisting of an international workforce organization with 10,000 professional managers. And oh my gosh, this bio just keeps going. He's a second degree black belt in martial arts. He's a certified instructor or diver. He has over 1,000 acres of wildlife sanctuary. He was a millionaire by age 23. Dude, like, and it keeps going. I'm just scanning.
I've noticed that about these
fascinating.
intros.
Like,
They've
for
turned into less of like
real,
short
like,
little
that is incredible.
biographies, but like being like one or two
uh,
passages, and they're turning more into books.
How you doing, sis?
I
Did you
will be
click
right
it?
back, Brandon. I did not click it. I thought you clicked it. I will be right back.
Right? Like, I just read that one, and I'm like, as I'm scanning it, I thought I was near the end, and then it was like, how you doing? You got it, buddy. I'll talk to everybody for a minute. Guys, I didn't click it. Now I clicked it. I just clicked it to hide it. I think we just have a really bad delay today. Go do you, buddy. So, guys, I'm out here in LA. I didn't touch that. And it's gone again. I love it. Excuse me. Yeah, Gavin is looking mighty handsome today. So, guys, while I'm in LA, I'm looking at doing a whole bunch of connecting. I'm running around. I'm showing my product to people. It has been a whirlwind fun so far. I come back home to Ohio next Monday, and let's just say there's been a lot of good happening. I've met some amazing people out here doing some big things, and I want to let everybody know how grateful I am that I get to do these things. I tell people all the time, you need to follow your dreams, follow your heart, know yourself and love yourself first and foremost. And so many people need to hear that, but the thing is, I needed to hear it myself. So like Sorry, my dad's texting me. He's at somewhere that sells my product. I literally have been just blessed beyond belief, and I'm very honored that I get to be here and get to do these things. And then the fact that you guys tune in and say such amazing things about us and say such nice things about how we're inspirations and stuff. And I have to be honest, there's times I walk away and I think of myself and I'm not good enough. I'm not this, I'm not that. And everybody in my life keeps telling me, keep going, keep going. And the truth is, I wake up every morning and I think I have to wake up and get on air. You guys start my day right. You guys give me good energy. You guys, the energy I'm putting out, you guys are giving back. And I'm just truly grateful for every single one of you guys tuning in, joining us, having fun, being involved, sharing this. It's truly hopes and dreams come true when people see it. And you guys have been nothing but supportive, loving, and kind. So I want to say first and foremost, thank you guys. Thank you, every single one of you. And I truly appreciate and respect and I'm grateful for you. As Gavin and I get ready for our next adventures in life and everything else, it's gonna be fun. And the people that are here now contributing, I want to let you know how important you are to us and how much we can't do this without you. Every day we wake up and we get to be able to do this and share this moment with you. I don't want to have coffee with anyone else in the world but my fans. And I don't mean it like that, but you guys are my friends.
That's so sweet.
By the way,
yeah, we got some awesome stuff going on. I'm very excited for the future.
I think that like once I got off the plane and I was meditating. Oh, dude, that's what I wanted to tell you. So on air, I'm on American Airlines, and they tell you connect to the Wi-Fi, okay, but you can't unless you pay for it. But if you connect to their Wi-Fi and then you go to the website it tells you to go to, they have like TV shows, movies, all these things that are free for you to watch, and they download rather quickly. So like I watched 21 Jump Street, I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but what got really
the original or the remake with Jonah Hill?
Thank you so much.
And Channing Tatum. Which the original? Okay, sweet.
I'm good. Oh, silverware. Thank you. The original one.
Nice.
I'm in California. Avocado toast.
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh.
I'm in Ohio. I'm gonna make some Campbell's chicken noodle soup after this. Some saltine crackers.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
It will be. It's one of the only things that I'm gonna be able to taste.
So I'm on the airline. Ooh, I'm sorry, buddy. That doesn't sound good. But I'm on the airline and we're flying, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what about people who get really scared of flying? How do their anxiety get helped? And then I found in that app that I was just telling you guys about with American Airlines, they had meditations. So I just turned one on from the app Calm. It opens. I start listening to it. I start meditating. And what was really interesting is the meditation I chose is about being in the moment. And I thought that was really interesting because like they talked about taking something like a grape, okay? And you just take that. I'm going to use the potato as mine because they used grape, and I don't have a grape in front of me. But like, you smell it. I wish I did. You smell it, you taste it, you take a chance, you take a moment to savor it. You just let it bounce around your taste buds, and you be in the moment tasting all of it. And it sounds so little and petty, but when you realize that food is blessing you, that food is coming to give you good, and you start being thankful for those little things, a lot more good starts to happen. And I have to be honest. Is that better?
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't know where the microphone is on this.
You're good. You know what you're describing, though? It reminds me of the scene from Ratatouille when Remy is talking to his brother, and he's all like, here, eat this grape. And then he eats it, and he starts seeing like all the colors from it. He's like, all right, I eat this cheese. And then I'll put it together. It makes me think of,
He's like, Gavin, you have a question by Miss Sherry McQueen. Gavin, are you feeling sick, or is it side effects?
Oh, no, I'm definitely sick. It is not sinuses. I don't know what it is actually. But my stomach has not been very happy lately. And yeah, I'm just a little messed up in here. So, and I'm a little dizzy as well. But I'm not terribly worried about it. I think I'm
Stress.
dehydrated. I don't think it's
Hmm.
stress. No, I'm actually pretty calm, pretty relaxed overall. I don't think it's stress. I've definitely had much more stressful situations in my life, and
Hmm.
I've never experienced this. But I don't know. The only thing that I could think of is that I made a whole bunch of spaghetti and meat sauce with spicy Italian sausage, and that is all I ate for 3 days straight, like every meal. And so I'm thinking maybe that like messed up.
How you doing, buddy? Sorry.
You're good. I'm thinking maybe that messed up the bacteria in my stomach. And then
Hmm.
because the one night or like the one morning after I think I had it for like the first or second time, like I just had to go to the bathroom. There's no other way to put it. It was like I just had to go. But then I just kept eating that over and over again. And I think because of that, it was like an inconvenient thing that turned into an actual bad thing. And now I'm sick.
Are you resting?
I am. I'm trying to. I'm also not drinking nearly as much water as I usually do. Like usually I'll drink like a gallon of water a day throughout the day, but lately I have
Yeah.
not been. Yeah, lately I haven't been drinking much water at all. So I think I'm also dehydrated.
Interesting. Do you think that there's a reason you're not drinking water, just not taking the time to do it, or what?
Yeah. I'm not really I haven't been very active these past couple of days.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get on to fun. Let's get on to fun things. When do you do trivia again? I'm ready to play.
I want to say next Wednesday, unless so. Right now, that was something else I did yesterday. Is I got a whole bunch of contacts for a bunch of like I think they did like 25 bars in the area, and so today I'm gonna
Hmm.
call around to all those bars and see if any of them want karaoke or trivia nights. I got 25 of them so far, and I only need at least two more, and then I'll have enough days for the week that I will be happy and financially stable. I'm all right now, but I would like a little bit more. And so
That's
I
awesome.
only need, yeah. So if I can get 2 out of 25, which I'm very confident that I can, and then I already have another one. I already have another bar that I'm pretty sure that I almost got. Remember the one night when I said that that Browns player was at the bar? Well,
Yes.
his buddy is best friends with a bar owner, the Strongsville Cafe, and he
Oh
took one
yeah.
of my cards because he wants me to come do karaoke over there. So that would be
Mm.
three. If I get at least four bars a week, that'll be amazing then because that'll be see that'll be like $400 to $500 a week that I'll be making, but I'll only be working like 9 hours a week.
Yeah,
I'll be
that
working
means
like
you have
nine to 12
31 more
hours.
hours.
Yeah,
That means you have
nine to 12
31
hours a week
hours a
is what
day.
my work will be. I'm very
I
happy
love
with
it.
that. Yeah.
And you have an interview this week as well, don't you? For the Delight Network.
Yes, I do. I cannot off the top of my head remember who though, because he gave me one interview and then immediately gave me another one, and I do have to go in and talk to him and ask him which one is
No.
first and when they. Oh,
Do you know
he's doing a great job.
what
I
genre of music is this one going to be?
So the one I want to say is a metal band, and then the other one he was saying doesn't really have a genre. So, I've yet to listen to them. So hopefully
Huh.
tomorrow I will come to you and the viewers with an actual answer of who is coming on and what their genres are or lack thereof.
Right there are
But
too.
yeah,
Like
yeah. So we'll see.
maybe they're
And then today I have an interview. Well, not an interview. I have a meeting with PMTM, Pro Model and Talent Management. It's a acting and modeling agency. And so I've done all the classes. I've printed out the 30-page packet, along with several other pages for it. It's going to be like a 4.5 hour meeting that I have to do. But once I do that, then hopefully I will be signing a contract with them, and then they will tell me where they want me to go for photos, and then I will start doing auditions for commercials, TV shows, movies, pamphlets, modeling, all kinds of stuff.
Thank you, buddy. That is amazing.
So, yeah, very excited about that.
That is incredible, bud. I'm excited.
So,
that's going to bring.
while you're out there trying to network with the people and stuff like that, I'm trying to become one of the people.
I'm out here just trying to get my next round of contacts together so I can keep moving.
No, you're tearing it up, man. You're tearing it up. I'm very proud, very excited.
Thank you. Trust me, the days get long, but right now I couldn't be happier. Stepping into my realm, and I see it even as we're on air. My dad is texting me, and he's at the chiropractor. And the chiropractor's right by Gavin. And what's funny is he sends me a picture of his doctor, and it's one of the ones that actually I saw it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's funny. That
absolutely.
Is funny. But like he sends me a picture of him with the chiropractor, and he's got the product in his hand and all that, and I'm just like laughing. I'm like, oh, tell him hi. My dad's like, how do you get to all these places? I'm like, I work, so you gotta sell. And he's like, proud of you. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. You know?
Yeah.
So, and then guess who he ran into there while he was there? Gerald. Remember the MMA fighter we had on?
Oh, okay, Gerald, yeah. For some reason, when you first said that, you said, guess who? My first thought was Shaquille O'Neal.
I want to meet him. I just want him to carry me around on his back.
He's a very large man.
Could you imagine? I'm like a midget next to him. I'd run up, I'd jump on his back, give him a big hug. I'd love to hang out with Shaq. Like,
yeah.
You get one block shot by him, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very. The thing that I like about him is his heart is as big as everything else on him.
He is.
Like, he goes out and he does, like, charity and stuff like that. And he likes to go into communities and make differences for people. I saw one video where it was these police officers, and they would, on their off time, they go play ball with the kids in the like neighborhood and stuff like that. They go play basketball with them. And one day they got Shaquille O'Neal to come down and play basketball with all these kids and these police officers, and they're just tearing it up. Yeah.
I love it. I love positive things like that. Speaking of positivity, we have a very special guest today, don't we, Gavin?
Yes, we do. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, though.
I know, and I don't want to say it wrong. So I'm going to call
Csolkovits
him at first.
I think that's what it is. Csolkovits.
I look forward to him teaching us. As you and I were reading his bio a couple minutes ago, he has done amazing things. He's done everything. He really has. Started and operated at Delta International, including building international works organizations for over 33,000, producing multi-million dollars in volume. Ready? This is my favorite. He hosted a radio talk show, which was heard in the USA, Canada, and interviewed 3 different company presidents for 5 nightly shows each week. He's done more things that in his bio than I've done in my life, and I truly am excited to learn and be blessed with his presence today. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your put your hands together and welcome Mr. E.A., and I'm not going to mess up his last name out of respect. Please welcome him to the show. Good morning.
How you doing?
Hey, doing great.
How do we say your name so neither of us mispronounce it?
Slowly. You say it slowly.
That was good.
So the thing that gets you is the C. You just pretend like the C's not there. and you got a better shot at it. But if you think Schwarzenegger, because that's from the same country my grandfather came from, Austria, 15 consonants and one vowel, and everyone looks at it and there's like this huge pause. And because of that, up until I was 12 years old, I thought my name was Go Chop Wood. So, I mean, it was.
That's funny. You have an amazing repertoire of where you've been. You have done so many big things. Please, I don't even know. I read your bio and didn't even know where to start with asking questions for you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you've come from and the amazing things you've done. And then Gavin and I are gonna make sure we have a lot of good fun with you today.
I look forward to it.
Just to let you know, there is a slight lag between Brandon and I. So if we step over each other, that's why.
I didn't notice. No, I'm just kidding. Don't you hate when that happens? I hate when that happens. Okay, I got you. We're good. We're good. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. Actually, I watched a couple of your radio shows before, and I actually enjoyed them. I mean, I appreciate you guys are just freewheeling, have fun, give good info. In the meantime, mixed all in there. Very, very enjoyable. Yeah, it was great. I genuinely enjoyed the show. And I know what it's like to put on a show like this. I mean, when you guys can do it and make it look like it just sort of happened, no one has any idea what you guys are doing in the background to make it look that way. And I have total admiration for what you guys pull off. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Wait, I got a little verklempt there. Okay, I'm good. All right.
Well, from coming from someone who's done literally everything to hear we're doing a good job with anything is definitely nice.
I appreciate that sentiment. That's for sure. So the last name is said Csolkovits. If you forget you nailed it. You nailed it, Gavin. I mean, I thought, man, there's Gavin. He's like the Robin Hood that splits an arrow with an arrow. He just nailed it. Yeah. So.
What a great analogy.
Yeah. So it's great to be on your show. Thank you so much. I just look forward to sharing with everyone, and it's just great to be here. And you guys got a great format, so thank you very much. What would you like me to share? Because I can, I'll take it in every direction you want, but I can certainly share with you the humble beginnings and what actually happened if you want. And when I see you guys nodding off, I'll change subjects.
So I actually want to know, what were you like in school? And when I say that, I mean also like elementary and middle school, like in general, because you've done such amazing things. You've done so many things. It's very rare to see that in a person. Most people aren't nearly as motivated or courageous or willing to take risks like that either. So what were you like growing up as a child? Were you very big into jumping around and a bunch of activities, or did this sort of spark in your later years?
Not really. I'll say it was interesting because my father was a milkman, and back in those days, milk came in gallon glass jugs, glass containers. Yeah. And there was boxes outside everyone's home, and they put money in the box, and we put the milk in there, and the money was, and it was funny because no one took the money. Everyone knew if there was one of those boxes, that was a milk box for the milkman, and no one ever touched it ever. So it was pretty humble, ordinary beginning, if you will, son of a milkman. I lived in Chicago. My father had it's called Twin Oaks Dairy. So he had his own distributorship, his own route, if you will. And that was it. So there was nothing really to it. And then later on, I wanted to really elevate myself. So I did. I took the first big step in my career up, and I became a janitor. And I didn't mind being a janitor because business was always picking up. What? Yeah. Anyway, so and it led to.
Well, wait, it went over and came back.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, usually the third circle around. When I laugh the third time, someone gets an idea. I might have said something humorous. Anyway, so and then they catch up. But I had an interesting event that happened to me while I was a janitor, living in Chicago. I was able to be bonded at the ripe old age of 16 years old. I could be insured. So one of the homes I was able to clean at 16 years old was that of June Martino. Now, June Martino had the third most controlling stock in McDonald's. I lived right next door to McDonald's World Headquarters, right in Oak Brook area there. So, this was a phenomenon I saw in my whole life. And June was like this. I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Founder with Michael Keaton.
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right. He talks to his secretary there. He says, June, that's her. That's the lady I'm talking about. Obviously, that's an actress, but that's the actual lady, right? June Martino. And so I was in her house, and I was in there every week, and she was very easy to talk to, real approachable, I mean, just seemed like, and she was like this amazing woman. I couldn't count how many zeros on my fingers and toes she was worth. Right. And so one day she was in a really good mood. I thought, this is it. So I'm a 16-year-old snot-nosed kid, went up to her. She knew who I was because she saw me there every week. And she always said hi, and I always said hi back. So she knew who I was. And I said, June, can I ask you a question? And she said, sure. She was in extra good mood. And that's when I pounced. And I said, could you tell me about it? And she looked at me and said, what? And I said, McDonald's, the story. I'm not kidding, Brandon and Gavin. She put her arm around me and took me in the kitchen and told me the entire story all day long. I asked her this in the morning, and the entire day, she even had the maid and butlers bringing us food in the kitchen because she just wanted to tell me the whole story. And it was extraordinary that I was able to have this event. And she told me step by step. And many of the things in, The Founder with Michael Keaton, that's all Hollywoodized. It's based on certain events that were accurate, but a lot of the, what kind of guy was Ray and all that's all Hollywood hoopla, just add in drama and stuff. But there was an interesting.
It makes sense. They gotta make a movie and everything.
Oh yeah, they look at what's going to get the drama and hold people's interest, that kind of thing. But there was a part in the movie where they reference, if you remember, Gavin, where they were running out of money. Ray didn't realize they were making that little amount on the percentage points on the franchises, and he had to call the brothers and say, I need more money. You remember that? Yeah,
and they were talking about how each franchise as well was like making all kinds of different foods for like a taco one for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that part about the money was true. And June told me that Ray couldn't afford to pay her. So he paid her in stock in a worthless company. And she, as she was explaining this, I said, June, I'm a janitor. I mean, I work paycheck to paycheck. Every Friday, I need that paycheck. If I don't get the paycheck on Friday, I'm not showing Saturday. I'm not going to be there, right? And so I asked her, why did you do it? And I could tell this little snot-nosed 16-year-old had just asked her a question no one else ever asked her before. And she looked at me, did this eye lock, and I could tell she left. I mean, she was staring right at me, but have you ever had that where someone's looking at you and, you could tell their mind is totally somewhere else. And what she said to me, Brandon and Gavin, literally made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. Not only what she said, but the way that she said it really impacted me, and I still remember it this day. When I said, why did you do it? Why'd you work for this man, getting worthless stock, literally underwater stock? It wasn't even, wasn't even at zero. And when she said, I believed in Ray, the way she said it, and my first thought was, man, I got to find me a Ray Kroc. I've got to find one of those. I gotta find someone that can teach me, that can take me under their wing, that could, that I could believe in, that would guide me right, and that I could believe in like she believed in Ray. That was my first thought. Right. And I used to love, man, I cleaned her house, and thought, man, people really live this way. And I'd pull out the Rolls Royces out of the garage 3 times a day and sweep the garage just to be in a Rolls Royce, which was worth more than I was ever going to earn in 15 lifetimes, So, I mean, it was incredible. But I thought, this woman's not a superhero. She's not like an alien, or she's a regular person. I need to find this Ray Kroc guy. And then it wasn't a short period of time. Then literally a couple months later, I met my business mentor, and he really genuinely became my Ray Kroc.
Wow.
Yeah, true story.
That's actually, it's really amazing too that McDonald's specifically is like one of the things that kind of kickstarted all this success for you in a way. Because I'm actually right now, the mug that I'm drinking from is one of the old collectible Flintstone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flintstone McDonald's mugs when they used to do these.
Classic. Yes. Yeah. So that was and I literally when I say I could look at the McDonald's World Headquarters, I was that close to it in Oak Brook, Illinois, right? It's not there anymore. It's moved. But back then, when this whole thing was all, they were opening the franchises left and right, and McDonald's was becoming McDonald's as we know it. So what that did, guys? It taught me that I didn't have to be a janitor all my life. That
was actually my next question. How long did you continue to be a janitor before you decide to move up to the next big thing?
Well, thank you for asking that, because it was actually a short period of time after I said, I got to find me a Ray Kroc. It wasn't 2 or 3 months later, and at the janitorial service, I get this phone call. Actually, I didn't. The boss did, and we're the only two there. And my boss said, "Hey, listen, some guys opening a jewelry store. He's opening a diamond store, and he wants to see some carpeting, and someone has to show him tonight because he's leaving on a plane in the morning, and he's going back to Detroit." I said, "Jerry, I don't know anything about carpeting, and plus I've already checked out." He said, "I'll tell you what, if you'll go, because I have to stay here. I'll give you your choice of Saturdays off from here on in." He said, "Pick any Saturday you want. Only one, but you get to have it." And for a janitor, by the way, that's a big deal, because Saturday, that's cleaning up day. All the businesses are closed, right? We got to clean. So I thought, man, I can have a Saturday off. This is great. So I said, okay, any Saturday? And he said, yep, any Saturday you want. I said, okay, deal. So I begrudgingly went, punched back in. Little did I know that begrudgingly I was going to see someone who was going to change my life forever. And it shows you how sometimes the most insignificant, seemingly at the time, this totally insignificant event was going to literally change my path, my thought process, the whole course of my life, as I went begrudgingly to meet this person because I get my Saturday off, right? Yeah. And sure enough, I met this guy. It was like I knew him before, and he knew, like he knew me. He wasn't interested in the carpeting. I mean, we had only commercial grade, and it was a diamond store. So he wanted something real plush, something real nice. And so the carpeting was a no-go. But as I left, he offered me a job. And I said, man, I don't know anything about diamonds. All I know is they're expensive, and someday a woman's going to ask me for one. That's all I know about diamonds, right? And he goes, and he said, well, I'll teach you. And I said, no, I'm all set. And I didn't know he was going to hook me. I realized later on what a wordsmith and a true genius he really was. And as I was walking out the door, he hit me with the thing that he knew would get me. And he said, what do you have to lose? You can always go back being a janitor. And the way he said it was almost a little snide, And I thought, and I said, oh, I'm all set. I'm a janitor. And I left. I left the place. All the way, it was bugging me. I could hear, in my mind, him saying that over and over again. I kept saying, he's right. I can always go back being a janitor. What do I have to lose? So I got halfway home, turned around. Now it's almost midnight because he's leaving. And I thought, he's already gone. Went to the airport. Probably he's already leaving. He's still there. And I said, what do you have in mind? And then that one thing led to another. And he became my business mentor. And it was such a blessing to meet this man. He was a genius in the truest sense of the word. And I became like the son he never had, even though I had a son. And he became like the father I never had, even though, I had a father. And we were that close. And I was very fortunate to have him, as my business mentor. And that really, through the mentoring, brought me through my 3 major defeats in life, that each one of those caused me to write a book and eventually gave birth to Givers University.
I love it. Wow. I love it. So I already did it. It's my turn to ask a question. So I have to ask, I am an entrepreneur myself. I've been one for years. And when you meet someone like that and you get the chance to do that, you were standing there, and as you said, you left and he offered you the job and you kept hearing it in your head. How did you know this was what you really needed to do? Was it the voice in your head, or did something in you say, I just need something new and it's time to jump?
Neither. I hate to say neither, but it wasn't because I didn't know. Cliches are cliches because they're usually true. Not always, but usually. And it is true that we find our calling on the road we took to avoid it. Buddy? And I found my calling on the road I took to avoid it. Here I am, a janitor, and I had no idea other than the fact that I wanted to be rich and I wanted to be happy, not realizing at that point I had it reversed. First, you have to be happy and then you're rich, right? But I just wanted to be rich, man. And then I saw June Martino and how much she's making it. Man, this is it. This is the answer, right? So as a result, I share with you that it was really genuinely a desire, just a burning desire I had inside that I just wanted to have the great things in life. And I knew I didn't know how. I didn't have that experience. And it took what I call my 3 major defeats to teach me each one of those experiences. And ultimately I settled in on, and that was the founding of Givers University, teaching the one thing. And this is the thing I really genuinely can answer and address, Brandon. And that is teaching the one thing that is not being taught today. The one thing that is so critical that's not being taught. And I'm a self-improvement guy. I love self-improvement. Yeah. I'm sure you guys are too. Look for ways to improve ourselves. I'm into it, right? But no one's teaching us about the other guy. No one's teaching us, what if the other guy's not doing it right? What do we do then? No one's teaching us that 2/3. So I ask your listeners, if you were to think about all the fires you put out today, if you were to think about the times when your stress levels spiked, went straight through the roof, when you were to think about the conversations you had with people that after you were through with the conversation, you say to yourself, man, I don't even know what we just talked about other than the fact that I just got all the energy drained out of me, right?
Right.
Every one of those instances, every one of those fires they stomped out, every one of those stress factors spiking, every one of them has a name attached to it.
Thank you so much.
No one teaches us how to discern. How do you decide? How do you discern the people? And what do you look for when you see people doing certain things? So what we do, and I digress for a moment, at Givers University, when we say giver, we're not labeling a person. We're labeling the deeds. When we say taker, we're not labeling the person, we're labeling the deed. So we teach people to distinguish, because we love everybody. We tell everyone, we love everyone across the board. We love you. But we teach people how to distinguish the person who we love from their deeds, which we may not love. And what to discern and what to look for, so that when I see a person doing very specific things, not broad, innocuous, nebulous swaths of information and references, but very specific things. When I see them doing these certain things, I may want to pull them in closer into my life and become what we call a part of your givers community. By contrast, if I see something they're doing certain specific things, I may want to think about beginning to respectfully distance myself from them, because I'm about ready to become collateral damage because of what they're going to bring with them. Yeah. And no one teaches us what to look for. We're so fast. We're so fast today. Businesses coming and going, products antiquated overnight, and we're going forward at breakneck speed, and no one is discerning anymore, and no one's teaching it. What about the other guy? What if they're not doing it right? And how will they impact my productivity when I'm not producing whatever I need to do in a result because I'm stomping out some fire? What am I doing when my stress level spikes because I don't have the right people around me? And no one's teaching, how do you identify the right deeds? Remember, when we say givers, we're labeling the deeds, not the person, right? And so we actually put together, what are the deeds you look for? With the first book that's called The Giver's Mindset, we teach how a giver thinks versus how a taker thinks. And we actually provide, and we'll provide to your listeners, the 25 do's. It's literally a 2-page checklist of the specific things you look for. These are the things when you see them doing them. Not the person, we love them. But when you see them doing these things, you may want to pull them in closer. This is the kind of person that's going to bring with them what we call the 3 W's, wisdom, wealth, and wellness. You want that in your life. When you see them doing these other 25 things, you may want to respectfully, not nasty, not offensive, respectfully start to distance yourself, because they're going to bring with them the 3 D's of a taker, which are defeatism, disruption, and destruction. And every taker carries with them the seed of their own destruction. So why do I want to have and be this unwilling participant and be this unwilling collateral damage? Because no one taught me how to discern in advance and think, I'm watching what they're doing. What should I do about that? And so it's one of the things we actually give that. We give that to your listeners. We want them because it's a powerful thing when people look at it and they go, man, this needs to be taught. No one's ever said, look at these things and then make a decision on whether how close you want them in your life or not. And so we actually do that. If I can mention, we have a quiz, 7 questions, 5 minutes or less. They go to giversuniversity.info, INFO, givers plural, giversuniversity.info. And when they go there, they're actually on the first page. They're actually on the first question of the quiz. It's only 7 questions. It's less than 5 minutes. And the name and the title of the quiz is, what is your givers and takers awareness IQ? What's your awareness IQ when you look at, and you're looking at not judging other people, but looking at their deeds and discerning, are those the kinds of deeds I want in my life? So they do this literally 7 questions. They get an assessment, different assessments based on their answers. And then after that, we give them some great downloads, absolutely free, because these are things that we genuinely like investing in people. And you know what happens? The word travels. There it is. See, they're on the first, that's the first question right there. So, and it's only 7 questions. So they just click on the right question that, they feel they're observing in this event, and takes them right through it. And at the end, they get a great download, and it starts the relationship of them with Givers University. So, I can share the following with you as a thought to share with your listeners. Givers earn 3 times more because they discern 3 times more. And no one's teaching us how to discern the other guy's deeds. Everyone
Absolutely.
says, look in the mirror and change yourself. Well, that's great. And we need to do that. Self-improvement's great. But the other 2/3 of it are what the people bring into our lives unwillingly and unwittingly. And we have to deal with it.
Absolutely. I think a big issue with that too, that we're not learning that in school. That's not something that is taught
Sure.
To the majority of people, either by parents or by the schools. And because of that, we end up getting these distorted side effects of, we'll have people who, they see these things going on, but they love the person so much that they let everything slide. And they end up getting those 3Ds that you mentioned. They end up tearing their life down because of it. Or we get people who have been hurt in the past, and because of that, they're so hesitant to bring anyone close to them that as soon as one person does something that isn't lovable or favorable, then they write off the person altogether. They don't know how to compare and contrast the good versus the bad. When you have a good person who does a bad thing versus a person who's good or bad that's done a bunch of bad things.
Yeah. And you bring up a great point. And one of the things we teach at Givers University is as follows. When you're a giver, people will take advantage of you, but you are never diminished. See, there's the distinction. People don't get that one. See, they think, oh, I'm afraid to give because I've been taken advantage of, and people take it. Wait, first of all, when they really understand, Gavin, that's not a part of the equation, because when you're a giver, people will take advantage of you. They will expect it, but you're not diminished because of what they did and because they took advantage of you. And here's the best part of it. You'll get that back from another person, an unrelated event, an unrelated circumstance. So because of that, we need to. And so people they become hesitant, just like you said, because they've never been taught. Keep giving, because they're only taking from themselves when they take advantage of you. They're not taking from you. They're losing the relationship.
Yeah, well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but when we say giving, we don't mean, give somebody everything that you have just because you have it. It means give what you can when you can, and don't expect something in return. To be a giver is to be able to give to those things that they need that you can afford to live without. Whether
Exactly.
whether it's your time or donating money or whatever it is that you're giving to somebody, it's something that you can live without, and you don't expect anything in return. That's when you're not giving properly, and that's when you feel like you're taken advantage of and you're being quote unquote let down. It's because you expected something back and you didn't truly give.
Exactly. And there's discerning giving, right? I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to give this in a discerning fashion and decide, am I giving properly and without reciprocation? But also make the decision, and no one's teaching us, how do I decide who I want in my life? And we teach them things they can use socially, with their friends, with their family. And guess what? It's a big part of family. Also with business, that and how to discern and watch the impact, how their productivity goes through the roof when they have the right people around them, how their stress level plummets and their happiness level goes up because they have the right people around them and they're not the collateral damage all day long because no one said, look for this. So you're right, Gavin. Give. And I tell people, give. And then when you're through giving, give. And when you're through giving, give. Yeah. But do it in a discerning fashion. Yeah. And we teach people how to discern. Brandon?
So I love that because excuse me, that's kind of how I live my life, is you're supposed to be giving. And I think that the hardest thing for me to learn was those boundaries on that. Like, I might have an extra $10 in my bank, but that doesn't mean I need to go buy the person behind me at McDonald's their food and think I'm giving freely just because I want something back. Meaning like positivity or whatever. But like, my thing is, how many people go through their day and they do things just for the want of getting something back? They're not opening up freely. You have to be willing to give without wanting anything back, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. And actually, and you raise a good point, because the $10 buying the food, you actually can't do that, because if you're going to buy the food behind them, you need at least $11.50. You can't do it with $10. Anyway, so just wanted to say, it's, everyone knows it's $11.50 if you want a combo. Anyway, so we teach people, and that's really the nutshelling of it. We teach people how to discern, and we have audio courses and we have books and we teach people. But what we want people to do is do the quiz. Start thinking about these things. Start on the path of thinking and discerning, and watch how it impacts your life. And these are quantifiable things. They're not, as my business mentor used to say, you teach someone something and you hope that the window stays closed, because if a strong breeze comes through, it's all gone, because they don't know what to do with it. Right? We learn these nebulous things. Do this, do this. And we've broken it down to where you can no longer say, how do I do that? Because that's the thing. And when it's broken down into that, here's the 2-page checklist. And by the way, Gavin, to your point, having a checklist that helps teach us what to look for helps us be discerning givers, because we see they're doing this thing here and I don't want that in my life. I want to respectfully distance myself from them. But I'll tell you, I've watched the productivity go up in people's lives so many times, and they said, oh, thank you. It just needs to be taught today. We're moving so fast. No one's teaching how to discern.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself grounded for discernment?
It's a great question. Big part of it is having the right people around us, right? And because they help keep us grounded, because we're giving to them and they're giving back. What we have found statistically is 20% of the population are wired as givers. You put them in any situation, and after a short period of time, they will figure out how to start contributing to it, how to give to it. They'll start investing in it. They'll start building it up. They're builders. They're wired that way. That's what they do. By contrast, the other side of the Grand Canyon are takers. And within a short period of time, they will figure out how to take from any given situation financially, emotionally, mentally, morally, spiritually, go through the whole list. They're wired that way. That's what they do. The 60% in the middle, we call them fencers. They sit on the fence. They act like givers when they're with givers. They act like takers when they're with takers. They can be great relationships, but we need to manage them and keep an eye on them. So when we discern, we can have givers around us, and we build what we teach, your own giver community. Brandon should have his own giver community. Gavin should have your own giver community of people that you pulled in close, and you help each other stay grounded. You help each other grow because you're giving constantly without expecting nothing in return. And they're doing the same thing because you've discerned those right people. Now, someone can be a taker and they're not eternally a taker. We teach actually in the third book that, first of all, there's an entire course that's called Give to Be Great. It's a 3-book series, and that's the foundation of Givers University. First book, Giver's Mindset. Second, Giver's Lifestyle. Third, the Giver's Lifelong Learning. And we actually teach people how to do what's called a data reset, declare and turn around when they're in taker mode or temporary taker mode. I've been there. I've been in temporary taker mode. We teach people, how do you do a data reset to get back into full-blown giver mode again? How do you do that? And what are the steps? We're very much into do these specific things, you'll get the result that you want. And so we just love teaching this thing because I watched people start to smile and they go, man, this is great. And here's another thing that we found. People have people around them that might be really close and they don't know how to broach the subject with them. You know, I want to, I get, this person's a taker, but I don't know I don't want to bring it up to them because I love them. Like you said, I think Gavin, you said that. And I think Brandon, you said the same thing. What do you do when that person's so close to you? Maybe it's a family member, you love them, with no bounds. However, they are clearly taking advantage of you and doing things that are heavy on the taker side, right? How do you broach the subject? Here's one of the great ways. Share this radio show with them. Share it.
Actually, I've already I'm looking at this and I'm like, are you a giver or a taker? Take the quiz today and then have this on there. I love it. Yeah. Sue's asked a quick question. She said, can you be a taker? Can a taker become a giver?
Absolutely. And we actually teach how to do that. Being a giver or taker, neither of them are eternal. We can switch sides based and our deeds manifest that. As an example, if someone had itchy eyes and a runny nose, because of those symptoms, we could assess probably they have a cold, right? The cold is the cause. The itchy eyes and runny nose are the symptoms. So we get right to the symptoms and say, look for these things. And then one of the things that happens is that by sharing this information with others, the assessment, the quiz, sharing your show with others so that they can see these things and it opens their minds because you provoke thought. One of the things I love about your format is you provoke people to think and make them think, hey, how about this? And how about that? And that's very valuable. And they start to open up. So what happens is people can use the information also for self-assessment. And when they see themselves too heavy on the 25 dues of the taker by looking at the symptoms, their deeds, now they can begin to change those deeds, do a data reset that we teach in the third course, and go into full-blown giver mode. So yes, they absolutely can do that. And it's, again, how do I do it? And we teach them how to do it.
I love that. So I want to change it up a little bit here while staying on topic still. In your bio, it says that you are a black belt. For martial arts, martial arts are very big about self-realization, self-control, analyzing situations and reacting quickly. How has studying martial arts changed your perspective on your fellow man and affected how you do business with people?
What a great question. And I will spare you my Bruce Lee interpretation. Anyway, sorry, I had to go there. I said I was going to spare you and I did it anyway. What's up with that?
It's okay.
It's okay. I know. I didn't even see that one coming myself. All right. So it's a great question. And here's why. In the medical community, if you give someone medication and they're reacting, they're not doing well, right? It's going against them. Yeah. If you give someone medication, they're responding, they're improving, they're doing better. So we define the difference between responding and reacting. And one of the things my business mentor taught me was always have your intellect control your emotions. Because if your emotions are controlling your intellect, you are now reacting. You don't want to be there. Think about the medication, right? Reacting, not good. Now, if your intellect is controlling your emotions, now you are responding, and that's where you want to be. So to your point, Gavin, about responding and reacting, yes, in martial arts, they teach you how to respond. You respond quickly, so it seems like a reaction because you've been trained. But factually, you know exactly and in detail what you're doing mentally, and that's controlling your emotions. And one of the most important aspects I can share with you, it's called self-defense. It's not called self-aggression. It's not called aggressiveness, self-defense. So one of the best things, one of the best defenses you could ever have when a taker comes at you is not be there. That's the best defense. Don't be present. It's just that simple. And so we teach people, like one of the things we teach them, in fact, and your listeners, after they do the quiz, a couple days later, they'll get what are called the 6 arrows. The 6 arrows that takers shoot at you. One, and this is a direct tie-in with the martial arts thing.
Yes.
When the arrows are coming at you, if you don't know they're coming at you, what happens? You get hit. Wow. But when you are responding, you can see the arrows coming at you in advance. You can see the movement. You can see what they're doing, and then you can get out of the way, and you don't get an unwitting hit that's going to hurt. So so I can tell you it had a direct impact on teaching me how to be responsive and not reactive in all relationships and all aspects. Martial arts also teaches you discernment. See, that's a part of it again, how to discern what to do. So yeah, very much so. Thank you.
Absolutely. I know it's very humbling too, getting your ass kicked now and again.
Been there, done that, another 10 minutes to start breathing again. I learned by that. For sure.
Still practice martial arts?
Actually, I do. For a couple of years, I was 25 years old. I taught for 2 years, and when I got to the second degree black belt kind of thing, and now I just sort of practice the movements, and because they're excellent for mobility and a little bit of weight training, but also the movements and flexibility and being able to get around, and that's part of, we said those 3 W's with the givers: wisdom, wealth, and wellness. And a part of wellness is what we put in our bodies, the thoughts we think, and what we do, right? The thoughts we think have an impact, right? They do. The thoughts we think have an impact on our body. They translate and manifest into how we are. And also what we put in food-wise, and then also our activities, and to invest time in our body, because I see people and I see the things they do, and it's amazing how they abuse themselves, and then they wonder out later on, because of this accumulative effect, how they're in so much pain and agony, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's accumulative. And when we discern that, we learn that there's an accumulating effect to everything that we think and everything that we do, with no exceptions.
I love that. With that, Brett Gordon just made a great comment. It's you have to, the more tools you have, the easier it is to respond to life instead of react to life. Build the toolkit and hone in on your superpowers. Brett actually has his own show where he focuses on teaching people. He takes movies and with superheroes and stuff and gives them a tool. I think that what you're talking about is exactly along the lines of what Brett does, and it's teaching people what tools they need to use to build their best selves. So my question then goes to, what if a person doesn't realize they're a taker and they take the quiz and they see that? What would you recommend be their first step to actually getting to fixing and not seeing the 3Ds, but pushing themselves for the 3 Ws?
Being open and receptive. And that's why, and that's to the point of why I mentioned, Brandon, that one of the best ways and one of the best favors someone could do to someone, when they get this information, their awareness level goes up. And immediately they're starting to operate head and shoulders above most people, because most people don't have that awareness level now, because it's not being taught. No one's teaching to discern. So when they have this awareness level and it starts to go up, as an example, when you're getting ready to buy a green car, what do you see all of a sudden? Green cars everywhere. You never realized how many green cars were on the street before until now you're getting ready to buy a green car. And it's the same thing. Now that your awareness level goes up, you start to see things you didn't see before. They were always present. They were always there, but now you're seeing them, right? That's what a revelation is. A revelation is seeing something that was always present in a brand new light. That's what a revelation is. And so now with this awareness level, we see that, there's something that can be done here. Share the Java Delight radio show. Share this episode with others. Let them see what you gentlemen are doing with your platform as a way. And they can simply say, you know what? I saw this great show hosted by these two great guys, Brandon and Gavin, the Robin Hood that splits an arrow with an arrow. And I saw these guys and you got to watch this show because they bring really valuable information for entrepreneurs and business and self-growth. And give me your opinion of this show, because I just loved it. So here, watch the show. So, and that's a great way to get people to start to see, and then start a dialogue with them and say, you know what? I know. And there's very easy ways where we can ease someone into, hey, you know what? I realized I looked at this thing and I thought there were some things on there that I shouldn't have been doing when I realized my deeds. And because of that, now all of a sudden, I wanted to share it with you too, because I thought maybe, some of the stuff might help you as well. As an example, some of the things to give a couple of nuggets, if we can. I always like to give some, some real good of value to some of your listeners on the things that you can be aware of. Of the 6 arrows, I mentioned the 6 arrows that takers shoot at you. One of the arrows that takers love to do is when you're having a difference of opinion or a dialogue, they will switch gears from factual, unemotional information into personal attacks. You'll hear, you don't know what you're talking about. That's got nothing to do with the facts we're talking about. Let's talk about the facts. So when they switch gears into personal attack, that's one of the things you look for. And also the transference of guilt. In other words, sometimes takers like to surround themselves with other takers because they want to prove consensus they seemingly want to project and promote is more powerful than truth. They get enough people around them saying the same thing, even if it's not true. And now it must be true because of how many people are saying it.
Yeah, so one thing I like to tell people is common knowledge is not always correct knowledge. For sure. I have to tell you candidly, I've met a lot of educated idiots.
I mean, genuinely, a lot of them. They have all this information, all this knowledge, and they have no wisdom whatsoever. They just have knowledge, right? And wisdom is part of the definition of wisdom is how to take what we know and we learn what to do with it and when to do it. That's wisdom. And all these people, I've seen so many educated idiots. It's extraordinary. All this education, and they have no wisdom there whatsoever. Couple of things in the second book, which is called The Giver's Lifestyle, giving a couple of morsels to your listeners, because I know you love to give them stuff. We have identified the 30 habits. These are the 30 habits of givers. When you see them doing these 30 things over and over again, put a checklist by them. And here's the 30 habits of takers when you see them doing these 30 things, right? So a couple of the habits of takers. A taker eliminates and lowers the vibrations of a person or group. They lower the vibration of a person or group. A taker is the kind of person that brightens up a room by leaving it. Right? They're the kind of person who, as soon as they leave, you go, oh man, am I glad they left. Have you ever had that conversation with those? Man, I'm just glad they left the room. I just felt like they were drinking the energy out of the room and there's nothing left. Right?
The worst is when you have coworkers like that, because then you're forced to see them every day for extended periods of time. It's one thing if you're at like a party or you're in public and you run into somebody, but when you work with somebody who's like that, it's just so draining. It ruins the day.
They're hosting a pity party and they don't even realize no one wants to attend, but they keep trying to invite you. And, and that's the pity party. Another of the 30 habits for takers. They keep their word for short durations, and they break their word quickly and easily. See, here's the difference. Takers can be counted. Givers can be counted upon. It's a big difference. So when you see someone who very quickly will give you their word and break it really fast, you might want to put a check mark under the taker's deeds part of the 30 habits. By contrast, a giver, you will find, they treat their word like it's an oath, like it's a vow. And their word is a commitment that is to them is very important. So who do you want to have around you? Someone you have to second guess all the time, and every time they say, yes, I'll get this done, they don't do it? What are you doing now? Now you're stomping out a fire. Now your stress level went up. Now this is collateral damage and you just got pulled in. So when we look for, okay, one of the habits, I want to look for people that when they say something, I can count on that being done. I can count on their word being their word. Their word's their bond. I know when they say that, and now guess what? I don't have to double guess it. I don't have to think about it anymore. It's all done. So can you see how just knowing specific things to look for like that can have a dramatic impact? And like in the second book, the second course, it's a 2-page checklist. Here's the checklist, and we go through all 60 of them, right? Here's the 60 of, 30 of givers and the 30s of takers. When you see these habits, begin to discern their deeds and start to decide, how close do I want them? Or how far should I start be respectfully distancing myself from them because of what they're going to pull with them, the defeatism, the disruption, and the destruction that inevitably they will bring with them, and you're going to be an unwilling participant in the collateral damage.
Wow. Absolutely. I don't think I have anything else to add. I think you've said all this absolutely perfectly. Yeah, I'm taking it in right now. So usually it's one thing that I do a lot of time. Like I got to take things in after a while.
Well, we can take a 20-minute commercial break and come back.
Right.
I'm here.
Yeah. So I want to change gears a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Here. So you told us a lot about how you started out and a lot of the things that you've learned. I'm curious now. Where does the story of you go after you find your guru of sorts?
Oh,
so
great,
you were a janitor, talked to the McDonald's lady, and then we come on this huge rabbit hole, this huge journey that we just went on here. So now let's go back to the story of you. Where have you gone? Where did you go after you met this man and decided to quit your job as a janitor?
All right, I appreciate that, and those are what I call my three. I sort of tag them my three major defeats in life. And we probably don't have time to go through all three of them because I never say anything in 10 minutes if I can say it in 20 minutes. Anyway, so
no, we definitely want you back on. We're definitely going to need to bring you back on for sure. There is so much stuff to go into.
But the first major defeat, this one's a mind blower, and I can share a little bit of history with you guys. Years ago, they had a box that you put on your desk, and it was called a voice answering machine. And on the left side of the box was an outgoing message that you recorded, right? So when someone called you, they got your message. On the right side was another, and these are called cassette tapes. They were actually little cassette tapes. And on the right side was a cassette tape that was like 60 minutes long. And I was gone. I left home for about an hour and a half. And my machine was voice actuated. So that meant as long as someone talked, it would keep recording. I was gone for an hour and a half, came back home, and the 60 minutes had been used up. I thought, oh my God, some kids got a hold of it. They did sometimes, when they realized they would keep recording, they would play with the machine or something. And I thought some kids played with it, right? Wow, was I in for an awakening. So I played the message back. And separate from my mentoring, which I was getting separately, I had started a training company with a gentleman, and Jim and I were 50-50 partners. He had 50%, I had 50%. It was a training company in the Midwest, multiple offices. We were doing great. The company was very, very prosperous. And he was leaving me a message to call him back. And back in those days, when you were talking with someone on the phone, you could hear a beep in the background when they were calling you, right? You could, like if someone's going to call in, it'd go beep, beep, and that would let you know someone's calling you while you're talking to someone else. And you could hit your receiver and three-way them in or whatever. Well, I could hear the tone when he was leaving me a message. I could hear someone was calling him because I heard that little beep in the background in the message. He hit the receiver on the phone so fast and said hello. He put my machine on recording with him and someone else and recorded the entire conversation.
Oh my God.
Doesn't end there.
I wonder how many people got caught cheating doing stuff like that, or like how many scandals ended up being figured out because somebody accidentally recorded their phone conversation or what was going on in the room.
Wait, there's more. The message, the whole recording was the step-by-step plans of how they were going to take over the company and kick me out. So let me tell you, when you hear it in their own words,
No way.
it's way different than third party. I mean, I'm hearing him say it in his own words.
Mm-hmm.
Mind-blowing, mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are the odds of this happening? Right. First of all,
Brandon's so shocked he's frozen.
I know. Look at that. He just froze like, what? What? He's gone. He just, yeah.
Oh,
Snap! With the
So wake up. Get the smelling salts back. He is out. No. But think, what are the odds? You know, he could have called me when I was home. No, he called right then. That guy could have not called then, but no, he called right then. And when they talked, they could have talked about golf. No, they talked about that. There's no odds, right? No odds of that happening. And boy, I got to tell you, I had a sleepless night because when you hear it in their own words, it's a whole different thing. And I kept going back to my mentor's training. Don't let your emotions control your intellect. Take a step back, respond, don't react. And let me tell you, I was struggling with this one. You know, I had no indication, blindsided totally. You know, I didn't, because I didn't know what to look for. So the next day I said, Jim, you need to buy me out, because I knew I didn't want him as my partner. And I said, we have 7 days. We have to craft an agreement. I'm on my way. I want to do something with my mentor, which I did. And I said, and you have to buy me out. And we did. We crafted an agreement, 7 days. A couple months later, I did get some payments. Really, Gavin and Brendan, the payments I thought were gifts because I didn't expect to see a penny from him because I already knew how he was, right?
Yeah.
And do you know, I never, ever told him about the recording. Never told him. He never knew. He's passed on now. He never knew. Never, because I knew nothing good was going to come out of it. And because the following thing happened, and that was this. In the next year, my income doubled. And in the next year, he filed for personal bankruptcy, business bankruptcy, got divorced. And I saw him at an amusement park across the way. I mean, I knew who he was. He didn't see me, but I knew who he was. I knew it was him. And it looked like in 1 year, he had aged 20 years.
Oh my God.
Now I can share with you the following. Every adversity carries with it the seed of its own possibilities and the seeds of benefit that you can grow on. And I listened to what my mentor had taught me, and I said, I'm not going to let this rule me. I'm going to take the next step. My income doubled the next year, and I was happier than ever before. And all, and his life, in every way you could think of, exploded and went down. Just fell apart. And that's why takers carry with them the seeds of their own destruction. Always. It's going to happen. They're bringing it with them. So that caused me genuinely at that point to write the first book called The Giver's Mindset, how givers think and how takers think and the differences between those two. They think differently. They're wired differently. And you can tell by the symptoms what the cold looks like. And that, I got to tell you, it was an extraordinary experience. And he never knew the recording took place. Never. I never told him. And I just went straight up after. It was an amazing thing. Why? Because of my thought process, because of what, not because of me, because of what my mentor trained me. That's why I share with the listeners. Be selective, be discerning, but get at least one, if not more, mentors in your life. People that really have been there, that have done it, that have the scars to show that they've been there. When someone tells me everything in their life has been great, I run from them. I don't walk, because I know if they haven't had a couple of defeats in their life, they're next, and they've been saving up. It's going to be a whopper.
Yeah.
I need to create some distance with us, right? And because that, and my business mentor taught me, relabel. Don't use the word failure, because failure has this eternal ring to it. He said, relabel things as temporary defeats. Call them temporary defeats. He said, because when you get tackled, you're not going to realize until you look back at it that when you got tackled, you also got a first down. You're still in the game. So relabel and reframe failures that pull us down as temporary defeats, and understand that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or a greater benefit, and build on that. And that's one of the things I love about what you guys are doing and with your show. I mean, you're helping people build. You're helping people look at and learn from your guests who become mentors for a certain number of time, and they get their thought process provoked and opened up, and they begin to have a better life directly because of what you guys are doing. So I thank you for that.
Absolutely.
No, I thank you. I've already gotten the background. Your book saved in my Amazon cart, so I can actually get it because I really want to read it. And after I read it, before I get the second book, I'm going to give it away so we can keep blessing others and keep getting it out there to people and keep sharing appropriateness and growing. But I do have a very important question. Would you be willing to take on two people to mentor with Gavin and I? I mean, he's a lot younger than me, but...
Well, first of all, I'm always willing to mentor. You better believe it. And I'm happy to come back on your show and help you as well there, and in any way possible, and to share with your listeners, because there's so many things and so many ways that it comes back to us. And I know that you guys, when you get to put your head on your pillow at night, you did good. You helped people. You brought them some good information. Your listeners have no idea of what goes on in the background for you guys to seemingly just pull this show off, and they don't realize what all the little tiny little things that can become challenges on just making sure your guest is going to be there, and making sure all these things. They have no idea of what it takes for you to be able to bring these great messages and your awesome guests to them. So yeah, you better believe it. You guys are great, man. You guys are givers, and I just think you're excellent. You're excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Really quick, are there, Brandon, do you want to pull up any websites, any links that he has really quick, and drop those again? I know he's got a couple of them, but I just want to make sure that we have them again.
My internet is so bad. Every time I've tried to pull something in, that's when I'm getting kicked out. So I can't do it.
They can go to giversuniversity.com. Giversuniversity.com.
I got it.
Okay.
And that's actually our home website. The giversuniversity.info is the quiz. So when they go there, that's on the first page of the quiz. But if they go to giversuniversity.com, we have courses, online courses. We have 48 individual lessons, all on discerning, all on these 3 books. They can only get the books and only get the courses through Givers University. We have not released them into the public on purpose yet, because there's an integral part of hearing an audio lesson that's 15 minutes long that sort of encapsulates what they're about ready to read in the book. So we want people to come out and say, you know what, man, this really taught me. I mean, this was not, I'm going to get all, what we call woo-woo land with the walnut trees, where I get all pumped up and I'm all excited. And then 4 days later, I'm flat on my face because I didn't really learn anything tangible. It was great motivation, but the wind blew through the room and it's gone. So we like to say, do this. In the 3rd course, we have actually 50 labs, 50 interactive labs that they do, that we take them through step by step. Do this. So the first course is called The Giver's Mindset. That's the book, The Giver's Mindset. It's only available through Givers University. The second is called The Giver's Giver's Lifestyle. That's where we identify the 30 habits. And then the 3rd is called Givers Lifelong Learning. And the way they begin all this, start the quiz. Do the quiz, 5 minutes or less. You'll get an assessment, and then we actually start giving them free downloads because we want them to benefit by what we have. And you guys are great. You don't know. I just really appreciate your format, and everything's cool, and you can talk, and I can
Absolutely.
even do my really
Thank you for
bad.
being here.
Yeah, I can you edit out the Bruce Lee interpretation? No, I'm just wondering.
Oh no, it's staying.
It's staying. I know. That's it. I knew it right then.
Yeah, what happens on the internet stays on the internet.
It's forever.
Yes. So at the end of the show, if Brandon ends up popping back in, he will do one as well. But at the end of the show, one of the things that we like to do is our final words of the day. Just something for the people to take away with them and keep in remembrance that kind of had to deal with the theme of the show. So I will go ahead and go first. If Brandon pops in before I finish, then I'll have him go next, and then I'll have you, the guest, go last. Sound good?
Great.
Awesome. Let me single myself out really quick. There we go. So first off, today was an amazing show. Our guests lately have been kicking ass with the things that they are bringing to the show. It's been a real honor, real pleasure to have the people on that we have had today. Today, what I want to talk about and what I want to highlight is definitely respond, don't react. I think that's probably one of the best pieces of wisdom that I've gotten in a while is to respond, not react. And a quick little story about that. I took that trip to Belize. One thing I bring up a lot because I have a lot of different stories from it. A couple of years ago, took a trip to Belize and we were snorkeling. And one of the people that I was snorkeling with accidentally kicked me in the face with we had these big flippers on, and they knocked off my goggles and my snorkel. And I grabbed a hold of it, but I couldn't really put it back on properly because I was underwater and it was all filled with water. And I tried coming up for air, and I got hit by a wave, and I went right back down. And I tried coming again, I got hit by another wave, I went right back down. Thankfully, I was in salt water, because what happens when you drown in salt water is because of the high sodium contents in it, it doesn't actually pass through the walls inside of your lungs, and so it won't burst the blood vessels. That's what happens when you drown in fresh water. You actually internally bleed to death. It's very, very horrific when you really think about it, but your lungs just fill up and you drown, but it takes a lot longer. And because of that, I was able to stop what I was doing. I literally, in my head, just screamed, stop, remain calm, recollect yourself. And then I pushed myself up and was able to come up and get that breath of air. And in reality, it only took maybe 2 or 3 seconds to do this. But in my mind, it felt like an eternity because I was panicking and I was reacting. And because I was able to stop and respond, I was able to get out of that bad situation and still be here today. Because honestly, I got up out of the water, I looked around, and everybody was still snorkeling. They didn't know what the hell was going on. But to be able to respond instead of react is extremely, extremely important. And I love that was one of the big highlights today for our episode.
Great. What a great story.
Thank you.
You gave me a quick mindset back of doing a shark dive at Stewart's Cove in the Bahamas. And you want to talk about you want to talk about responding instead of reacting. And basically the way the shark dives work is, first of all, you have to raise your hand, and you're in a classroom, and you have to then sign saying, do you understand this dive could result in your death? And you have to say, they make you swear it, you have to sign it and everything, because you're with sharks, right? And they drop you in this thing, and all of a sudden here's these Caribbean reef sharks all over the place, and it's about 35 feet down. So you got the tank on. And I was going to wear a T-shirt that had on it "No new taxes," and the guy next to me says, "Why are you going to put that on?" I said, "Because not even a shark's going to swallow that one." Anyway, but I'll tell you what, when you're in the water like that, and literally the shark is 6 inches from you as it passes the front of you, and they say, watch the eyelids. If the eyelids are like at half mast, be very careful to getting ready to attack, because one of the first things they do is attack. They protect their eyes.
They roll their eyes back. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see their eyelids go down like halfway, be very careful. But they always said, don't react to anything. To your point, Kevin, they say respond, don't move fast, swim slowly, And the guy next to me said on my tank, and these are steel tanks on our back, right? Scuba diving.
Yeah.
And he said he could see my tank go, it's a steel tank as I'm sucking that air. And then I'm watching the gauge go through. Because I mean, the adrenaline rush is just, you're thinking, man, this thing is, longer than me, 9 feet long, and it's 6 inches from my face,
Yeah.
And,
you're not in a cage, were you?
No. They just had, and
Wow.
they go down. They like feed them maybe an hour before you go down, and and they're used to it. But even the guy feeding them, he's got chainmail all over, and he's got a full blown suit, and they're serious about it. But
I believe it.
The adrenaline high for the next 3 to 4 hours, you really genuinely feel like you're high on some incredible rush because the adrenaline is flowing through you because you realize, this great experience. But the thing they kept emphasizing, don't react no matter what happens. And always have the guy next to you, make sure you can swim faster than him. No, I was kidding. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean, what did I say that? Anyway, so, but I love your point about that, Gavin. That's so critical that as we go through life, and when we discern, that helps us. We're not reacting, we're responding.
I'm going to solo you out really quick. Final words. What you got?
Final words. The 3 I wills that we recommend every one of your listeners begin to say every day to themselves. I will never give up. I will keep rising up. And I will always overcome. Those are the 3 I wills.
I love it. Absolutely wonderful. Brandon's texting me right now saying that the Wi-Fi at the hotel he's staying at is god awful. So he will not be giving us a final word, but I'm sure that it was something lovely and positive. Once again, thank you so much for being on the show. We'd absolutely love to have you here again. Thank you, everybody who watched, commented, liked, shared the videos. Definitely spread it around to your friends. I know I will be. And once again, this has been Gavin Kerr and Brandon Croucher on The Morning Delight.